Hi everybody, it's Debbie from the Inspiration Station. Today I have a massive layout share for you. I've been very busy with different events online and in person, and this is the stack of layouts I have made since September. Yeah, that's a lot. By anybody's standards, I think. So I'm going to go through these kind of quickly. I did try to record this yesterday, and I had all kinds of trouble with my camera, so I'm going to try and get through it quickly, and hopefully you will enjoy it. So the first layout that I did, this way, was based on a sketch. I'm sure it was an Allison Davis sketch. I don't know exactly which class it came from because I did do the class with her that was 4x6 photos. I believe that's the one. But anyway, this is some wedding pictures from my daughter's COVID wedding, where she was unable to have anybody in the church except her parents, his parents, and maid of honor and best man. It was a little sad. And actually, if you see any of the pictures the photographer took of the guests, everybody's wearing masks and they look miserable. So it's a little sad. But those pictures came out great, so I'm happy with that. This page is actually based on a page that Paige Evans did. I did the Pinkfresh summer, or was it fall, papercrafting event. This, I think, was actually from the spring Scrapbook and Cards Today. Not positive, but I think that's where it came from. And she showed how using a circle punch to make these leaves and then putting them into a rainbow order. I used distress ink on the background to make the watercolor looking stuff and some splashes. I also used some Dina Wakley white spray. So I really like the way that came out. This one is another sketch from Allison Davis from the 4x6 class. I used Simple Stories products. Had a lot of fun just using up some chipboard and some of the 2x2 cut aparts. So that was my nieces going back to school. This one is another one from Paige Evans. This was from the Pinkfresh event that we did. She sent us a pre-cut cut file, and we used all the papers in sort of a rainbow order, and then we did tone on tone with the die cut pieces. I haven't found a photo yet that I want to put in this yet, but I did take the idea and then I cut out the cut file out of blue, and I did this one using Echo Park papers. And these titles came from the Pinkfresh line. So I really loved that cut file, and I like the way it came out cut in blue rather than in white. So that was another one. This one is also from the Pinkfresh event. This was a page by, I believe it's Annette, and I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. It might be Gelsier. And so we used stamps, stencils, and dies from Pinkfresh. We also used the Alpha from Pinkfresh and cut out these, all the stamped images. So this is very different than what I would normally do. But I really like it. I think it's something different, and I like to have different things in my scrapbook as you're looking through it. This is also from the same instructor, Annette, and this one focused on doodling. So we traced a circle, and then we made these little doodle lines and used all these die cuts, and I think it came out really pretty. We also used that same Alpha again. Just, again, a very different style for me, but very pretty, and I enjoyed making it, and I think it's, you know, it's going to look nice tucked into the album. Now this one was also from Pinkfresh, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the instructor's name. She had done a 2-page spread, and I chose to do only a 1-page, so it's modified a bit. We used the Pinkfresh pockets. We've got frames on here. Again, that same Alpha. I loved the idea of popping up the letters and putting them in a frame. I did some stamping. I believe that's the L Studio stamp that I use all the time. So yeah, this was really cool. I like this. It's a different look, again, something I normally wouldn't do. But it's clean, and it's, you know, that's my style, is clean and linear. So I like the way that came out. And this was obviously announcing that we're having a new grandson, so that was fun. Now this one used leftover things from the Pinkfresh class. This was not from the event, but it is based on a layout that I saw online, and I think it was from one of their design team members, where she cut a circle and then used all of these die-cut washi tape pieces to make the wreath. I really loved this idea, the washi tape. They have series, or suites I guess they call them, that are stamps, die cuts, no, I'm sorry, stamps, dies, stencils, and washi tape. So you can stamp the image and cut it out, you can stencil the image, cut it out, or you can put the washi tape down on cardstock and then use the same die set to cut it out, and you end up with all these cool embellishments. I really like it, and we had so much. The roll of washi is, I want to say 14 feet or something. A ton of embellishments can be made from just one roll, so that was fun. These are my nieces again. This is, they went to a Ren fair just before Halloween, so I was so happy I could use these colors. This one is not from a class. This is actually just because I had fun with my daughter doing a photo shoot with my youngest grandson. And you know, he looks so happy in these pictures. I did not put the photos where he was very unhappy. The pumpkin was cold and slimy. He did not like it at all. So these were taken when we brought it in, and we actually heated the pumpkin up with a hairdryer, so it wasn't so bad. This is Cartabella Welcome Fall line, which I got in the Club EP for, I think it was September, and it was also in the SCT sampler. So I just die cut a lot of the flowers from the paper. I have, actually these are all, not die cut, I'm sorry, fussy cut. These are all fussy cut from different paper pieces. And we have the stickers on here, and I threw on some enamel dots. Now this was an event that I went to in Salt Lake City. Simple Stories had a creative retreat. They called it Get Creative. And it was a 3-day event in Utah that my friend and I went out to. It was phenomenal. If you ever get a chance to do it, do it. You know, I can't say enough about how wonderful Kevin and Amber from Simple Stories were. They treated everybody like it was family. Fantastic. And we got a ton of product, and the teachers were excellent. So I'm going to try and go through these. I said, you know, it was going to be a little quick, but I did have to put that in there. Love Simple Stories, love the people there. They really, every single one of them was fantastic. So this page here was taught by, Jody Sanford, who used to own Fancy Pants. She's now doing some work with Simple Stories for teaching. So I may have changed it up a bit. These are the papers that they gave us, and kind of a general outline of the page, but of course I change everything to meet my style, so it is a little bit different. This was the second page that she did in the class, and this we pieced this heart together and did some stitching on here. This page I have plans for. I actually I'm hoping, actually this and the previous page, to get some really nice photos of my husband and I with our grandsons at Thanksgiving, so we can have a nice portrait on there. We'll see how they cooperate. They're 3 years and 6 months. We may not get some real nice portraits, but if we get one good one, I'll be happy. This page was from a class with Jana Eubank at Simple Stories. We had a lot of fun with this one. She did these hexagons. She used punch shapes or templates. She actually gave us templates if we didn't have the punches available. And we did a lot of layering with stickers. We used the foam titles, cut apart the journaling paper. So this one was fun. It's just really pretty. Again, my style tends to be very simple and linear, so I don't do a lot of layering, but this is, I love it. I love the way it came out. This is another one from Jana Eubank's class, and as soon as I saw the sample with Catch of the Day, I knew these are the photos I wanted to use. These are pictures of my son and my grandson. He took the little guy fishing for the first time. Thought they were excellent photos, and I really liked the way they came together with all of the layering. This one is a 2-page. Let's see if I can get them both in the frame. Yep, there we go. So this one is not finished. I have this just tacked down because I do have a photo I need to put there. Again, Jana Eubank designed these. I changed mine up a little bit. I think her, she may have had smaller photos here or different orientation. The only thing that I did a little bit differently is I actually peeled some of the layers off the chipboard embellishments because they were so thick. As you can see with just these few layouts that we did in that one class, there's a lot of thickness here, a lot of dimension, and I don't like taking up that much space in my scrapbook, so I do, try to thin it down as I can. So some of the things that may have been popped up, I didn't pop, and I did peel off some of the chipboard backings. This is another one that Jana did. This one I didn't take the time to peel all the layers off the chipboard frames, and it's pretty thick. So, and there's also foam tape underneath the photo to, raise it up to the level of that frame. So, but I love it. Again, all this layering that I, on my own, would not have done. It's just not something that I really think to do. But it came out beautiful. I love Jana's ideas. I love the designs that she came up with, and she is the sweetest person. Speaking of sweet people, we met Becky Adams. She is just so nice, so sweet. She did travel layouts using the Simple Stories, I think it's called Let's Go. And so we did a number of layouts with her. This one is just a foam title and some of the die cuts, some brads. Again, everything layered up with a single photo spot. Then she did some interactive pages, and these are fun. Now, Becky does a lot of interactive pages, and she cuts her page protectors so that you can see what's happening. So in here, these are going to open up. So you would put a photo here, and then the journaling or another photo in here and in here. So you do have to cut your page protectors so that they can open. And I haven't braved that yet, but I do love the way the page came out. I love just everything about it, the way she layered everything, and it's very cute. I need to practice on cutting the page protector. This one I like because I don't need to cut the page protector. This one opens this way, so I can slide the base page into the page protector and then just leave this hanging over the top of the flap. And I did leave this unglued so that I can put my photos in there when I figure out what I'm using it for. Again, just really cute, and it's interactive. I really like the way this page came out. And Becky also did a 2-page spread. Let's see, they're in the, make sure they're in the frame. The only changes that I made to this, I did not put all the foam tape. She popped up pretty much every element on here with foam tape, and I did not. Again, I'm looking at the thickness of the pages. These self-adhesive brads really add a lot of dimension, a lot of bulk to the page. And I just don't like to do that much. If I put all of these pages into one album, I think they'd fill up a whole album. And, I do it a lot of pages, so I need the space. So that was, I think, the only change that I made was not adding all the foam tape. Now we're moving on to the event that I did last weekend, which was Scrapbooking Cards Today Papercrafting for November. And this was a class that was taught by Victoria Calvin, and she did an asymmetrical layout. This was actually considered a mini class, but she is so good on giving tips and ideas and showing people alternate ways to use things if you do an 8.5 by 11 page instead of 12 by 12, or you want to turn it into a 2-page. She really gave a lot of information, so I don't think I would call that a mini class, but I did change this a little bit. I used the same photo layout. I used the clusters that she did. I changed the background. She had split the background into 2 different papers, pattern papers, and it was just a little much for me, a little out of my comfort zone. So I changed that part up, but I really love the way this came out. And originally I wasn't crazy about the paper. I thought, the colors are just different, but once we put it all together, I really love the way it came out. And then another mini class. This was taught by Becky Adams. This should not have been considered a mini class. By far, this was a full class. She taught 3 layouts. Well, she designed 3 layouts. She only went over 1 in the class and then gave us a PDF to do the others. But still, there was a lot of information in there, great ideas. It was fabulous. So to call it a mini class, yeah, I wouldn't. It was definitely an awesome class. So this is using Maggie Holmes' round trip line. And at first I thought, this is not a travel line. The colors aren't travel. You know, we get so caught up in travel lines being, tropical or the outdoorsy, the greens and blues and all that. And we don't think to necessarily use pastels. And this just came out sensational. I love it. She had us make a little pocket here that we can put journaling or additional photos in. So we've got that pocket and the titles. I think hers said World Traveler. I put On the Road because I do have plans for this and the rest of the pages that she made. I have a trip coming up in the spring with some friends, and I'm planning on using that. This is another one of her interactive pages. So she did the flap. Again, you put the base page into your album and let the flap stick out the top and fold over. So you've got plenty of room here for either large 4x6 photos or lots of journaling, or if you wanted to, you could put additional die cuts and things in there. And I love it. I love the way this came out. I love the colors. And then this was the last one that we did on our own. I did add stitching to it, and I'm not great with the sewing machine. And apparently I didn't think ahead to move things off my desk, because as I was sewing, when I got to the end, it hit something like that and it kind of tipped it off. So I went a little veered off. That's okay. It's handmade, right? I can always put a banner or something over that. And now I'm not sure if it shows up in the camera, but there are actually 2 photo mats here. So there will be 2 3x4 photos on this one. Then we also did a class with Vicki Boutin, and we used some exclusive stencils from her class. She taught us stenciling. She did a lot of layers. I love Vicki. I think she is just so much fun. I, again, am more of a clean and simple scrapbooker, so some of the things that she had put together were a little out of my comfort zone. So I made my own. I took some of her paper. I did use her stencils to stencil on the background paper and change up what she had done. And one of the things I discovered was these doodlebug accents were from another class in the program, and they matched perfectly with her line. So I just added those little bits on to dress it up a bit, and I really liked the way it came out. This was another one of the pages that I did in Vicki's class. She had a double page layout for this one, so it was different, but again, I just made it my own. I'd rather do something a little bit different than what they're teaching so that I know I'm going to use it, rather than just make it and then put it aside because it's not my style. So this will definitely get used. I love it. I did use the techniques and things that she taught. I just did it my way. Now this page, it's actually a double page. This was from Paige Evans using her Garden Shop collection. And I have to stand on my tippy toes to look into my camera and make sure that it's in frame. Yep, I think we got it. Let's move these out of the way a little bit. So this was using her Garden Shop paper, and it's a paper that is all squares, and we cut it up and made it into a grid layout. Originally, what was supposed to happen was the squares were all supposed to be the same size, 2 3/8, and then just butt up against each other. So there wasn't going to be any of these grid lines, but there was a snafu in the cutting instructions, and I ended up cutting everything to 2 inches, which was too small. So I matted everything in the same color blue and then put it on a blue background. And I love the way it came out. I actually considered printing all my photos in black and white because there's so much color here. But just for the sake of getting it done, I printed the photos in color, and when I laid them out, I said, you know what? they go perfectly. The colors in the photos really do match the colors in the paper. So it was okay. I mean, maybe if I had chosen Christmas photos or something, it wouldn't have worked out that way, but what I have here worked, and I love this page. I did die cut my numbers out because none of the sticker sheets that we get, well, most of them don't have numbers, and the ones that do generally don't have more than one digit. So I needed 3 2s, and there was nothing, even with 2 packs of stickers, I didn't have 3 2s. So I had to die cut my own. Now this is a 2-page layout also from Paige Evans, which was really cute. She had us, you know, cut the strips of paper to make these waves that look like, you know, paint swatches. She used pattern paper background, and I liked the paper and wanted to use it for something else and only had 1 sheet of each. So what I did was I went back to the Vicki Boutin stencils that we got in the class, and I stenciled the background using Distress inks in, you know, similar colors to what the paper was, and just put it together that way. Now there still is a ton of embellishments for this particular layout that will get added once I choose my photos to put on here, but I did want to wait and see what photos I ended up using, so not quite finished. Then we had a class with Megan Andrews, and she used a Close to My Heart collection. I don't know what the name of it is, maybe Celebrating You or something. It's a great color palette. I really like it. She added the orange in, the tangerine, because the color palette didn't include that, but it really made it pop, and the class was on contrast, using contrast on your pages. So I really like that addition of orange. The only thing I really changed on this page was I flipped this paper. The back side of this is like a polka dot, a multicolor polka dot, and it's darker. It's this dark blue, and I wanted the lighter colors. For what I think I'm going to end up using this on one of the boys' pages, and so I thought the lighter was better. Otherwise, we did do some stitching on here. These are going to get popped up when I, you know, finish everything. So you got a lot of dimension on here. Love it. I think this was a great page. Also from the same collection of papers, we did this page with sort of a sunburst or rays pattern. I have to say, when we did this, because we did homework, we did a lot of the cutting before the class. There's 5 of us in the group that were working together. Everyone was swearing. By the time we got this all cut out, it didn't make sense to us. We were trying to figure out how to cut these, and nothing was lining up. Then we had the class, and Megan did it in 3 minutes. She got the whole thing done in like 3 minutes, and we just sat there with our jaws dropping because we had fought with it so hard. We shouldn't have bothered even trying to do it ahead of time, which kind of teaches you something. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. She made it look so easy. We should have waited. But anyway, it is a great page, and there is a little pull out here for journaling, so that was cute. And we also got an exclusive stamp and die set from Close to My Heart in that class, so that was cool. Then Virginia Neville did a attendee kit where she gave us a bunch of different papers and embellishments from different lines, and she put pages together for us. I did change this up. Virginia had done hers the opposite way. So her background was this. It was the dark blue with a little bit of the grid. And again, I like the lighter colors, so I flipped it over. I also changed up one of the clusters. I think she had, well, this was up here, and she had other stickers that she added on from the collection that just didn't speak to me, so I did change that up, but everything else is the same, and I love the way this one came out. And it's fall, but it's not too fall, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't have to use this for pumpkins, and I don't have to use this for Thanksgiving. It can be really any traditions, anything in the fall. And you know, I changed the sticker here to say Home Sweet Home, so you know, it can be anything that we get together. So I really like that. Then Virginia also did a single page using some of the same things. We did fussy cut the papers the same flowers that were on this one. These are from Cartabella, and we used them to make a cluster down here. We added some stickers. She did use a pattern paper for the mats. I'm not really a pattern paper person, you know, using them for mats. Sometimes I think it takes away from the photo, so I like more solid mats, so I used cardstock here. And I added a few of my own enamel dots on here, just because I have a huge collection of them and they never get used. And then this was the other page that Virginia did. And I did change this quite a bit, because one of the things that she did was the biggest thing in class was that she made this word wheel, which was very cool, where she made a circle and she took all those little word stickers that you get at the bottom of a sticker sheet. You know, they usually have like 2 or 3 inches of little strips of words, and she made them come out almost like a sun. So it was a wheel of words, and it was really cool. But I didn't see that I would use it. All the words had to do with hiking and camping and fishing, and we don't do any of that stuff. We do go outdoors. We do like campfires and, you know, in the backyard type things, but we don't do camping and fishing and all that. So I chose not to do that part, but otherwise I did follow her layout as far as how the title went, the pennants, the layout of the photos. And instead of doing that word wheel that she had, I just matted one of the tags from the sticker sheet and added it. So that's my pile of layouts. I hope you're still with me. I hope that wasn't too long. And I hope you enjoyed it. I have a bunch more that I need to get working on, and I'm hoping to actually turn the camera on at some point while I'm working and be able to do a process video. But right now things are just a little crazy, as always, and I don't know that I'm going to have too much time, but I will try. So if you enjoyed this, which I hope you did, please hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Do you like these layout shares? Do you like longer videos? Do you like the fact that I had this big stack, or would you rather see a layout share that was maybe only 10 layouts and it's shorter? You know, some people really like short videos. Other people like the long ones because they like to play them in the background while they're working. Let me know what you like. If you're a subscriber, I thank you very much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I would really appreciate that. And I enjoy having comments and, you know, interacting with you all. So if you have something you'd like to share, please do down below. In the meantime, I will get back to putting these away and get working on the next series. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon on YouTube.